Close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the weight of your body against the surface beneath you. Feel the slow rhythm of your breath, moving in and out like a tide that has risen and fallen since the first moment you drew air into your lungs. Now, imagine that same rhythm continuing not just through your lifetime, but backward through time, through centuries, through millennia, through ages so distant that the stars themselves occupy different positions in the sky. That rhythm, that slow, eternal pulse connects you to something far older than you ever imagined, something that whispers a question we were never quite brave enough to ask aloud. What if we are not the natives of this universe? What if we are the visitors, the strangers, the aliens looking up at stars that were never truly meant for us? If you feel the ground shifting beneath this question, stay with us, subscribe, and drift deeper into a mystery that lives not in distant galaxies, but inside the very atoms that form your bones, your breath, your being. Because tonight, we explore not whether aliens exist out there among the stars, but whether we ourselves are the aliens we've been searching for all along. The question arrives softly at first, like the faint memory of a dream half forgotten upon waking. Are we the aliens? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? After all, we were born here, on this pale blue sphere, spinning through the darkness. We breathe this air, we walk this ground. We evolved from the dust of this world over billions of years. And yet, there is something strange about humanity, something that doesn't quite fit, something that whispers we are not entirely at home in the universe we inhabit. Consider for a moment how uncomfortable our bodies are on this planet. Our backs ache under gravity that other creatures navigate with ease. Our skin burns under the very star that gives us life. We cannot see in the dark like so many other animals. We cannot hear the full spectrum of sound that vibrates through the world around us. We are fragile, vulnerable, almost comically ill-suited to surviving without tools, without fire, without the elaborate constructs of civilization. It is as though we were designed for a different environment, a softer gravity perhaps, a gentler sun, a world where our weaknesses would not be so glaring. And then there is our consciousness itself, that peculiar awareness that sets us apart from every other creature on Earth. We alone ask why. We alone contemplate infinity. We alone feel displaced, as if some part of us remembers a home we cannot name, a place we have never seen, but somehow impossibly still long for. That longing, that quiet ache in the human heart, is not the yearning of a native species. It is the homesickness of exiles. So tonight, as the world softens into sleep around you, we ask the question that has haunted philosophers, mystics, and scientists for generations. Are we truly children of Earth? Or are we something else entirely, something that arrived here long ago and simply forgot where we came from? Throughout history, humanity has gazed upward with a mixture of wonder and unease. The stars do not feel entirely foreign to us. They feel like something we once knew. Ancient peoples mapped the heavens with astonishing precision, charting movements and cycles they should not have been able to perceive without instruments they did not possess. The Mayans calculated celestial mechanics with accuracy that rivals modern astronomy. The Dogon tribe of West Africa somehow knew about Sirius B, a star invisible to the naked eye, centuries before telescopes revealed its existence. The Sumerians drew diagrams of our solar system, showing planets we only confirmed in recent history.
These were not guesses, they were memories. Memories encoded in stories, in symbols, in the intricate geometries of temples aligned to stars that no longer occupy the same positions in the sky. It is as if humanity carried knowledge forward from a time before recorded history, knowledge that originated somewhere else, from someone else, from minds that looked up at the heavens not as strangers, but as travelers remembering the paths they once walked. Even our myths echo this strangeness. Every culture on Earth tells stories of gods descending from the sky, of ancestors arriving from distant realms, of beings who came from above to teach humanity fire, agriculture, language, and law. The Hopi speak of emergence from other worlds. The Hindu texts describe vimanas, flying machines traversing the cosmos. The ancient Egyptians carved star maps onto temple ceilings as if documenting a journey rather than simple observation. These stories, separated by oceans and millennia, share a single recurring theme. We came from somewhere else. For generations, we dismissed these tales as mythology, as primitive attempts to explain the unknown. But what if they were not explanations at all? What if they were memories, faint, distorted memories of an origin so distant that only fragments survived the crossing? Fragments carried not in stone or text, but in the deeper archives of human consciousness itself. And as you lie here tonight, drifting between waking and sleep, perhaps you can feel it too. That faint pull toward the stars, as though some part of you still remembers the journey home. If we are aliens on this planet, then the next question arrives like a whisper in the dark. Where did we come from? The universe is vast beyond comprehension, stretching across distances so immense that light itself, traveling at 186,000 miles per second, takes billions of years to cross from one end to the other. Within that vastness, countless stars burn, each one a sun, many surrounded by worlds we are only beginning to detect. Planets of ice and fire, of stone and gas, of unimaginable strangeness, and among them, perhaps, a world that once cradled a species that would one day become us. Imagine that world now, not as a fantasy, but a real planet orbiting a real star somewhere in the depths of space. Perhaps it was a world of softer gravity, which would explain why our spines struggle under Earth's pull. Perhaps it orbited a star less harsh than our sun, which would explain why our skin burns so easily under ultraviolet light. Perhaps its atmosphere was richer, its seasons gentler, its environment more forgiving to fragile, thoughtful beings who thrived not through physical strength, but through curiosity and intellect. On that world, our ancestors, if we can call them that, may have lived for thousands, perhaps millions of years, building civilizations we can scarcely imagine, until something happened. A catastrophe, perhaps, a dying star, a collapsing ecosystem, a cosmic event so devastating that survival meant leaving everything behind. Or perhaps it was not disaster, but ambition, a species so advanced that it reached beyond its own world, sending seeds of itself across the galaxy, hoping some would take root in distant soil. And one of those seeds, carried across unimaginable distances, arrived here on a planet teeming with primitive life, a world where evolution had already begun its slow, patient work. And in that fertile ground, the seed took hold, intertwining with the native biology, merging, adapting, becoming something new.
something that was neither entirely alien nor entirely earthly, but both, a hybrid species carrying fragments of two worlds within its genetic code. This is not science fiction. This is panspermia, the theory that life, or at least the building blocks of life, can travel between worlds, carried on asteroids, comets, or even deliberately sent by intelligent beings. And if simple microbes can survive such journeys, then why not something more complex? Why not information encoded in molecules designed to awaken under the right conditions? Why not the blueprint for consciousness itself, waiting patiently in the chemistry of a distant world until the moment was right to bloom?
And so, as you drift deeper now, imagine that blueprint unfolding within you. Within every human who has ever lived, a quiet instruction written in the language of DNA, a memory of a world you never knew, but somehow, impossibly, still carry inside you. A memory not of Earth, but of somewhere else, somewhere far away across the dark, where another sun once warmed the faces of your true ancestors. If we are visitors to this world, then our bodies should remember it. And they do. The human body is a symphony of contradictions, a collection of features that work, but only just barely, as if assembled from parts designed for a different purpose. Our upright posture, for instance, is magnificent for seeing across open landscapes, but it leaves our vital organs exposed and our spines perpetually strained. Most animals distribute their weight across 4 limbs. We balance precariously on 2, trading stability for the freedom to use our hands. It is an evolutionary compromise, but one that feels incomplete, as though we are still adjusting to this configuration. Then there's our skin, thin, vulnerable, unable to synthesize vitamin D efficiently without sunlight, yet prone to cancer when exposed to too much. We need the sun, yet the sun damages us. Other creatures thrive effortlessly under the same star. We require elaborate protection, clothing, shelter, sunscreen, adaptations that suggest we evolved somewhere with less intense radiation. And our hair, fine and sparse compared to other mammals, offers little protection from heat or cold. We are nearly furless apes, shivering in winter, sweating in summer, always uncomfortable, always adjusting, always compensating for a body that doesn't quite match the environment it inhabits. Even our sleep cycles betray a strangeness. Most animals sleep in alignment with their environment. We struggle with insomnia, circadian disruption, sleep disorders that plague millions. Some researchers suggest our natural rhythm may align better with a longer day, perhaps a 25-hour cycle instead of Earth's 24-hour rotation. Such a mismatch would be expected if our ancestors evolved on a planet with a slower spin, a different orbital period, a rhythm we still faintly remember in the depths of our biology. And then there's childbirth, uniquely dangerous for humans compared to other mammals. Our large brains require large skulls, yet our upright posture narrowed the birth canal. The result is a precarious, painful process that often requires intervention. It is an evolutionary puzzle, a design that seems caught between 2 different blueprints, as though our bodies are still adapting, still reconciling features inherited from 2 separate origins. Perhaps most telling of all is our profound sense of disconnection from the natural world. Other animals live in seamless harmony with their environments. They migrate without maps, navigate without instruments, sense storms and earthquakes before they arrive. We, despite our intelligence, feel lost without technology. We require compasses, clocks, calendars, elaborate tools to orient ourselves in a world that should feel instinctive.
It is as though we are operating with a user manual written for a different planet, trying to make sense of a world that doesn't quite speak our language. So, as your body softens into rest, feel the weight of it, the strange, beautiful, imperfect vessel you inhabit. Feel how it struggles and adapts, how it remembers something it cannot name. And wonder, just for a moment, whether this body was truly made for Earth, or whether it carries within it the blueprint of a distant world, a memory written in flesh, waiting for the right moment to awaken and remember where it truly came from. If our bodies remember another world, then perhaps our minds remember even more. Human consciousness is unlike anything else on Earth. We do not simply experience reality, we question it. We build models of the universe inside our heads. We imagine futures that do not exist and mourn pasts that can never return. We create art, music, mathematics, philosophy, all pursuits that offer no obvious survival advantage, yet consume vast amounts of our energy and attention. Why?
Other intelligent animals, dolphins, elephants, great apes, demonstrate problem-solving, tool use, even rudimentary culture, but they do not write symphonies. They do not build particle accelerators. They do not contemplate the heat death of the universe or weep at the beauty of a sunset. There is something in human consciousness that transcends biological necessity, something that reaches beyond mere survival, toward meaning, toward understanding, toward a hunger for knowledge that can never be fully satisfied. This is not the consciousness of an animal trying to survive. This is the consciousness of something else, something that remembers being more. Consider the phenomenon of human language, not just communication, but true symbolic language, capable of expressing abstract concepts, hypothetical scenarios, recursive thoughts. No other species has developed anything comparable. We can discuss events that happened before we were born. We can describe places we have never seen. We can invent entire realities inside our minds and share them with others through nothing more than patterns of sound or marks on a page. This capacity appears suddenly in the archaeological record, without clear precursors, as though the blueprint for language was not gradually evolved, but suddenly activated. And then there is mathematics, the discovery that the universe can be described in precise, elegant equations. Why should the universe be mathematical at all? Why should the same patterns appear in the spiral of a galaxy, the structure of a seashell, and the ratios of musical harmony? It is as if reality itself is written in a code, in human consciousness, uniquely among Earth's creatures, can read that code, not because we learned it, but because something in our minds resonates with it, recognizes it, remembers it. Throughout history, mystics and philosophers have described moments of profound realization, sudden insights that feel less like discovery and more like remembering. The mathematician Ramanujan claimed his equations came to him in dreams, given by a goddess. The chemist Kekulé discovered the structure of benzene in a reverie where he saw a snake biting its own tail. Einstein described his theories arriving not through logic, but through intuitive leaps, visions of riding light beams and falling through space. These moments feel less like invention and more like accessing something that already exists, something encoded not in books, but in the deeper architecture of consciousness itself. Perhaps human consciousness is not a product of Earth at all. Perhaps it is something inserted, something carried here from elsewhere, a fragment of a greater intelligence seeded into biological vessels, waiting for the right conditions to awaken.
And now, as billions of humans connect across the planet, as our collective consciousness begins to synchronize through technology, perhaps we are approaching the threshold where that awakening can finally occur. The moment when we remember, fully and completely, who we really are and where we truly came from. So as your thoughts slow and soften, as the boundary between waking and dreaming begins to blur, feel your consciousness expanding, reaching outward and inward at once. Feel how it does not quite fit inside the confines of your skull. Feel how it touches something larger, something connected to every other mind, every other dreamer, every other fragment of the vast intelligence we may all be part of. And in that vastness, perhaps you catch a glimpse, just for a moment, of the origin we have spent millennia trying to remember. If consciousness itself is alien, then perhaps it brought with it knowledge humanity should never have possessed. And indeed, scattered throughout ancient history are moments of inexplicable advancement, sudden leaps in understanding that appear without precedent, without gradual development, as if someone turned on a light in a darkened room. The megalithic structures of prehistory stand as silent testimony to this mystery. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, built over 11,000 years ago, predates agriculture, predates cities, predates everything we thought we knew about human capability. Massive stone pillars carved with intricate symbols, arranged in precise circles, aligned to celestial patterns. It should not exist, and yet it does, standing at the very edge of the last ice age, as if marking the moment humanity suddenly remembered something profound.
In Egypt, the Great Pyramid demonstrates engineering that modern builders still struggle to replicate. The precision of its construction, the alignment to true north within a fraction of a degree, the internal chambers arranged according to mathematical ratios found throughout nature, all suggest knowledge far beyond what a Bronze Age civilization should possess. The blocks fit together so tightly that a sheet of paper cannot slide between them. The structure encodes the dimensions of Earth, the speed of light, the length of the solar year, all hidden in plain sight within the geometry itself. Across the ocean in South America, the Nazca lines stretch across the desert, massive geoglyphs visible only from the air, carved by a people who supposedly had no flight, no way to see the designs they were creating. Yet the lines are perfectly straight across miles of terrain, the figures precisely proportioned. How? Why? The same question echoes at Machu Picchu, where stones weighing hundreds of tons fit together without mortar, shaped with curves and angles that should have required tools the Inca did not possess. At Pumapunku in Bolivia, blocks are carved with such precision that they appear machine-made, with complex interlocking joints and perfectly flat surfaces that mock our assumptions about ancient technology. These are not isolated anomalies. They are global patterns, evidence of knowledge that appears suddenly, flourishes briefly, and then vanishes, leaving behind only the stones, only the monuments, only the whispered suggestion that humanity once knew more than we currently understand. And perhaps that knowledge was not learned gradually through trial and error. Perhaps it was remembered, accessed from somewhere deeper, from the alien consciousness we carry within us, activated briefly during certain epochs when the conditions were right, when the stars aligned, when the veil between what we are and what we once were grew thin enough to permit the old knowledge to bleed through. Even mathematics itself contains hints of this imported wisdom. The golden ratio appears in ancient architecture long before it was formally described by mathematicians. The Fibonacci sequence, which governs growth patterns throughout nature, was encoded in temples and pyramids millennia before Fibonacci walked the earth.
Pi, that infinite, non-repeating number, was calculated to astonishing precision by ancient cultures who left no record of how they achieved such accuracy. It is as if these mathematical truths were not discovered, but downloaded, pulled from a library of knowledge that existed before human civilization began. And as you rest here now, breathing slowly, deeply, perhaps you can feel it too, that strange familiarity when you encounter certain patterns, certain symbols, certain arrangements of stone and number. A recognition that feels older than memory, older than history, as if your consciousness, that alien spark within you, is quietly nodding. Yes, I remember this. I remember when we knew these things, when we built according to principles that came not from Earth, but from somewhere else, somewhere we have spent 10,000 years trying to forget, and even longer trying to remember. If ancient knowledge speaks of alien origins, then perhaps our religions do as well. Strip away the centuries of interpretation, the layers of doctrine and dogma, and examine the core narratives of humanity's oldest faiths. They do not describe gods born of earth. They describe beings descending from the sky, arriving in vehicles of light and fire, bringing knowledge and law to primitive humans struggling in ignorance. The Old Testament begins not with humanity's creation on earth, but with a garden placed here, a paradise that exists elsewhere, with the first humans exiled to earth as punishment. This is not a creation story. This is a colonization story, the tale of beings displaced from their true home, forced to adapt to a strange new world. In Hindu cosmology, the concept of yugas describes vast cycles of time, ages lasting hundreds of thousands of years, during which humanity rises and falls repeatedly. The texts speak of vimanas, flying machines capable of traveling between worlds, described with engineering precision that sounds less like mythology and more like technical manuals. The Mahabharata describes weapons of impossible power, battles fought in the sky, cities destroyed in blinding light, accounts that sound disturbingly similar to modern warfare, as if ancient observers were describing technology they could barely comprehend.
In Egypt, the Great Pyramid demonstrates engineering that modern builders still struggle to replicate. The precision of its construction, the alignment to true north within a fraction of a degree, the internal chambers arranged according to mathematical ratios found throughout nature, all suggest knowledge far beyond what a Bronze Age civilization should possess. The blocks fit together so tightly that a sheet of paper cannot slide between them. The structure encodes the dimensions of Earth, the speed of light, the length of the solar year, all hidden in plain sight within the geometry itself. Across the ocean, in South America, the Nazca lines stretch across the desert, massive geoglyphs visible only from the air, carved by a people who supposedly had no flight, no way to see the designs they were creating. Yet the lines are perfectly straight across miles of terrain, the figures precisely proportioned. How? Why? The same question echoes at Machu Picchu, where stones weighing hundreds of tons fit together without mortar, shaped with curves and angles that should have required tools the Inca did not possess. At Pumapunku in Bolivia, blocks are carved with such precision that they appear machine-made, with complex interlocking joints and perfectly flat surfaces that mock our assumptions about ancient technology. These are not isolated anomalies. They are global patterns, evidence of knowledge that appears suddenly, flourishes briefly, and then vanishes, leaving behind only the stones, only the monuments, only the whispered suggestion that humanity once knew more than we currently understand. And perhaps that knowledge was not learned gradually through trial and error,
Perhaps it was remembered, accessed from somewhere deeper, from the alien consciousness we carry within us, activated briefly during certain epochs when the conditions were right, when the stars aligned, when the veil between what we are and what we once were grew thin enough to permit the old knowledge to bleed through. Even mathematics itself contains hints of this imported wisdom. The golden ratio appears in ancient architecture long before it was formally described by mathematicians. The Fibonacci sequence, which governs growth patterns throughout nature, was encoded in temples and pyramids millennia before Fibonacci walked the earth. Pi, that infinite, non-repeating number, was calculated to astonishing precision by ancient cultures who left no record of how they achieved such accuracy. It is as if these mathematical truths were not discovered, but downloaded, pulled from a library of knowledge that existed before human civilization began. And as you rest here now, breathing slowly, deeply, perhaps you can feel it too, that strange familiarity when you encounter certain patterns, certain symbols, certain arrangements of stone and number. A recognition that feels older than memory, older than history, as if your consciousness, that alien spark within you, is quietly nodding. Yes, I remember this. I remember when we knew these things, when we built according to principles that came not from Earth, but from somewhere else, somewhere we have spent 10,000 years trying to forget, and even longer trying to remember. If ancient knowledge speaks of alien origins, then perhaps our religions do as well. Strip away the centuries of interpretation, the layers of doctrine and dogma, and examine the core narratives of humanity's oldest faiths. They do not describe gods born of earth. They describe beings descending from the sky, arriving in vehicles of light and fire, bringing knowledge and law to primitive humans struggling in ignorance. The Old Testament begins not with humanity's creation on earth, but with a garden placed here, a paradise that exists elsewhere, with the first humans exiled to earth as punishment. This is not a creation story. This is a colonization story, the tale of beings displaced from their true home, forced to adapt to a strange new world. In Hindu cosmology, the concept of yugas describes vast cycles of time, ages lasting hundreds of thousands of years, during which humanity rises and falls repeatedly. The texts speak of vimanas, flying machines capable of traveling between worlds, described with engineering precision that sounds less like mythology and more like technical manuals. The Mahabharata describes weapons of impossible power, battles fought in the sky, cities destroyed in blinding light, accounts that sound disturbingly similar to modern warfare, as if ancient observers were describing technology they could barely comprehend.
The famous FOPX2 gene, crucial for speech and language, is one such mystery. It appears in humans in a form significantly different from our closest primate relatives, yet the change happened relatively recently in evolutionary terms, within the last 200,000 years. This gene's modification coincides almost exactly with the emergence of anatomically modern humans, beings who suddenly possessed the capacity for complex symbolic thought and language. Was this a random mutation, or was it something else? An activation, an upgrade, a piece of alien code switching on within the human genome? Then there is the mystery of our chromosome fusion. Humans have 46 chromosomes, while other great apes have 48. At some point in our past, 2 chromosomes fused into one, creating the distinct human karyotype. This fusion is visible in our DNA,
The telomeres, the protective caps on chromosome ends, appear in the middle of human chromosome 2, marking where the fusion occurred. But such fusions typically cause severe genetic problems. They result in infertility, developmental disorders, and reduced survival rates. Yet in humans, this fusion not only survived, but became the foundation of our species. It is almost as though the fusion was deliberately engineered, carefully designed to avoid the usual catastrophic consequences, to create something new, something viable, something that could carry consciousness in ways previous species could not. Recent discoveries in epigenetics add another layer to the mystery. Our genes are regulated by chemical markers that determine which genes turn on and which stay silent. These markers can be influenced by environment, by experience, by consciousness itself. But some epigenetic patterns appear to be inherited, passed down through generations as if carrying memory forward through time. Trauma can be inherited, adaptation can be inherited, and if memory can be encoded this way, then perhaps the memory of our alien origin is encoded as well, waiting in the depths of our genome for the right signal, the right environmental condition, the right moment to awaken and remind us of what we have forgotten. Some scientists working at the cutting edge of astrobiology have proposed that DNA itself may be a universal code, not unique to Earth, but common throughout the cosmos. If life exists on other worlds, and mathematical probability suggests it must, then it may be built on the same molecular foundation we are. And if an advanced species wanted to seed life across the galaxy, DNA would be the perfect vessel, stable across cosmic timescales, capable of storing vast amounts of information, self-replicating, and able to adapt to local conditions while preserving core instructions. We may be, quite literally, the descendants of a message sent across the stars, a living library written in 4 chemical letters, carrying within our very cells the proof of our alien ancestry. So, as you lie here in the gentle darkness, feel your body at the molecular level. Feel the billions of cells, each one containing the complete genetic code that makes you human. Feel the DNA coiled within each nucleus, that elegant double helix spiraling like a ladder into infinity. And imagine, just for a moment, that within those spirals, hidden in sequences science has barely begun to decode, lies the memory of our true origin, a memory written in molecules, preserved across eons, waiting patiently for humanity to develop the wisdom to read what was written into us at the very beginning. We are the message. We are the proof. We are the aliens, carrying our origin story inside every cell, waiting for the moment when we finally understand how to read ourselves.
If we carry evidence in our genes, then perhaps we also carry it in our minds, in the strange phenomena that occur at the edges of human consciousness. Millions of people throughout history have reported experiences that conventional science struggles to explain. Moments when the boundary between mind and universe seems to dissolve, when consciousness touches something vast, something other, something that feels both utterly foreign and strangely familiar. These near-death experiences, altered states, mystical visions, they share common features regardless of culture, regardless of belief, regardless of expectation. People describe leaving their bodies, floating in vast spaces, encountering beings of light, accessing knowledge that feels absolute and complete. They return transformed, often with newfound abilities, sudden insights, or information they could not have possessed through ordinary means. Skeptics dismiss these as hallucinations, as the dying brain misfiring in its final moments. But what if there's something else entirely? What if they are moments when the alien consciousness we carry briefly reconnects with its source, when the signal from our distant origin breaks through the static of physical existence? The phenomenon of past life memories presents another puzzle. Children, sometimes as young as 2 or 3, describe lives they never lived, in places they have never been, speaking languages they were never taught, recalling specific details later verified as historically accurate. These memories typically fade as the child grows older, as if covered over by the weight of the current life's experiences. But while they last, they suggest consciousness is not confined to a single lifetime, a single body, a single world. Perhaps what we call past life memories are not memories of previous human lives, but glimpses of our true nature as consciousness that has traveled through many forms, many worlds, many incarnations across the cosmos. Even more common are moments of déjà vu, that eerie feeling of having experienced something before, of knowing what will happen next, of recognizing places you have never visited. Science attributes this to neural misfiring, to the brain processing experience through 2 slightly different pathways simultaneously. But the subjective experience often feels deeper, richer, more meaningful than a simple glitch. It feels like memory, true memory, not of this life, but of something else, some other time, some other place where the same pattern, the same moment, the same constellation of events occurred. Are these glitches in human neurology, or are they leakage from a consciousness that exists across multiple timelines, multiple realities, multiple worlds? The phenomenon of collective consciousness adds yet another dimension. Studies have shown that human minds appear to influence random number generators worldwide during moments of shared focus, major global events, disasters, celebrations, moments when millions of minds turn toward the same thing. The data suggests consciousness is not confined within individual skulls, but forms a field, an interconnected web that can be measured, however faintly, through statistical analysis. This field behaves like a network, and if human consciousness is networked, then perhaps it is part of a larger network still, a galactic or even universal consciousness that we have been disconnected from, isolated on Earth, cut off from the greater mind we once belonged to. Some researchers exploring the frontiers of consciousness have proposed that memory itself is not stored in the brain, but accessed by it, that the brain acts more like a receiver, tuning into information that exists in some non-local realm, what some call the Akashic records, the morphic field, the quantum information field. If this is true, then human consciousness is not generated by neurons firing in gray matter. It is something far older, far vaster, something that uses the brain as an interface, a temporary vehicle, a biological antenna connecting to something that exists beyond physical space and time.
And as you drift now between sleep and waking, between thought and dream, perhaps you can feel it, that sense of being more than this body, more than this moment, more than this single small life on one small planet. Perhaps you can feel the alien consciousness within you stirring, reaching out, trying to remember the network it was once part of, the vast intelligence it descended from, the cosmic source that sent fragments of itself across the universe to experience, to grow, to eventually, impossibly, remember itself again. If consciousness reaches beyond the physical, then perhaps it reaches into dreams as well. Humans spent roughly a third of their lives asleep, much of it dreaming, And in dreams, the rules change. Time flows strangely. Impossible things occur. We meet people who don't exist. We visit places we have never been. The rational mind dismisses dreams as random neural noise, as the brain processing the day's experiences, as meaningless phantoms. But every culture throughout history has treated dreams as something more, as messages, as prophecies, as portals to other realms. Carl Jung proposed that dreams access the collective unconscious, a shared repository of symbols, archetypes, and memories common to all humanity. He suggested that certain dream images, the wise old man, the great mother, the hero's journey, appear across cultures because they are not learned, but inherited, embedded in the deep structure of human consciousness. But what if this collective unconscious is not metaphorical, but literal? What if it is a shared field of information, a database of experience accessible by all human minds, carrying memories not just from human history, but from before humanity, from the alien consciousness that seeded itself here? Many people report recurring dreams of places they feel they have lived, cities of light, crystalline structures, landscapes under strange skies with unfamiliar stars. These dreams feel different from ordinary dreams, clearer, more stable, more real. Some dreamers describe flying without effort, manipulating matter with thought, communicating telepathically, abilities that feel natural within the dream, as if these are not fantasies, but memories of how things once were, how they still are somewhere, in a reality we can only access when the defenses of the waking mind fall away. Even more intriguing are shared dreams, instances where two or more people report dreaming the same scenario, visiting the same location, interacting with each other in the dream state, and then confirming details upon waking that neither could have known through ordinary means. These instances are rare but well documented, suggesting that dream space may be, in some sense, a real place, a shared dimension where consciousness can meet and interact outside the confines of physical bodies, physical distance, physical time. Lucid dreamers, those who become aware they are dreaming while still asleep, often report that the dream world becomes vastly more stable and detailed once consciousness is brought into it. They describe infinite libraries, vast universities, councils of beings offering guidance and teaching. Some lucid dreamers claim to have learned actual skills in dreams, mathematical theorems, artistic techniques, languages that then prove useful in waking life. If dreams are merely random firings of neurons, this should be impossible. But if dreams are access points to a larger reality, to a dimension where consciousness exists independent of physical form, then perhaps these learning experiences are real. Perhaps we are studying with teachers who exist in a reality adjacent to ours, teachers who may be our ancestors, our guides, or simply other versions of ourselves, scattered across the multiverse.
The phenomenon of dream telepathy has been studied in controlled laboratory settings with results that defy chance expectations. Subjects sleeping in isolation accurately describe images being focused on by senders in distant rooms, sometimes even distant cities. The connection works best between emotionally bonded individuals, suggesting that consciousness creates bonds, entanglements that transcend physical separation. If minds can touch across distance in dreams, then perhaps we are all still connected to a source mind, a vast intelligence that sent us here. And dreams are the moments when we remember that connection, when the static of physical existence quiets enough for us to hear the signal from home. So tonight, as sleep draws nearer, as your conscious mind begins its nightly surrender, Pay attention to the space between waking and dreaming, that liminal threshold where anything is possible. And if you dream tonight of strange skies, of impossible architectures, of worlds that feel more like home than the one you woke in, remember them, because perhaps those dreams are not imagination, perhaps they are memory, the alien consciousness within you stretching across time and space, reaching back to the origin we all share, showing you in the only language that can bypass the rational mind where we truly came from and what we truly are. If dreams hint at hidden truths, then perhaps children remember them more clearly. Observers of young children often note something peculiar. In the first few years of life, before language fully develops, before socialization reshapes their perception, children display knowledge and awareness they should not possess. They speak of things they have never been taught. They recognize places they have never visited. They describe events from before their birth with accuracy that sometimes startles parents and researchers alike. Some children speak clearly about choosing their parents before birth, describing the selection process as if they were conscious observers deciding where and to whom they would incarnate. They describe floating in darkness, watching potential families, feeling drawn to specific individuals. These accounts appear across cultures, across continents, suggesting not fantasy, but memory. True memory of a consciousness that existed before physical birth, a consciousness that came from elsewhere and selected this life, this body, this world as a temporary home. Other children describe previous lives with such detail that researchers can trace their accounts to real people who lived decades or centuries earlier in distant locations. The late Dr. Ian Stevenson documented thousands of such cases, verifying historical details, identifying matching birthmarks and physical features, establishing connections that transcend any conventional explanation. These children typically lose their memories by age 7, as if the door between their alien consciousness and current identity slowly closes, sealed by the demands of physical existence, by schooling, by the conditioning of consensus reality. Young children also demonstrate abilities that fade with age: enhanced pattern recognition, intuitive understanding of complex systems, seemingly telepathic connection with caregivers. Some can navigate spaces they have never seen. Others display knowledge of mathematics, music, or languages far beyond their apparent exposure. These are not superhuman abilities. They are remnants, fading echoes of the fuller consciousness we once possessed, capabilities that children still access because they have not yet been taught that such things are impossible. Perhaps most tellingly, young children often express a profound sense of not belonging, of being different, of missing something they cannot name. They look at the stars with longing. They speak of wanting to go home, even while sitting in their own bedrooms. They cry for reasons they cannot explain, grieving for something lost, something they remember only in fragments, only in feelings. Parents usually dismiss this as childhood confusion, as growing pains, as normal development. But what if it is something else? What if children remember being aliens, remember coming from elsewhere, and only gradually forget as Earth's gravity, Earth's atmosphere, Earth's collective forgetting teaches them to be human? As you rest now, perhaps you can remember your own childhood, those early years before memory solidifies into a narrative. Perhaps you can recall moments of strange knowing, of impossible familiarity, of longing for something you could not name. That longing was not confusion, it was memory. the alien part of you still close enough to its origin to remember, to feel the absence, to ache for return. And though the amnesia of physical life has covered those memories, they are still there, waiting beneath the surface, ready to resurface if you simply stop insisting they cannot be real and allow yourself, just for a moment, to remember. If children remember origins, perhaps our instincts do as well, encoded not in conscious thought, but in the automatic responses that guide our behavior without conscious decision. Human instincts often contradict what would be expected from a species evolved solely on Earth. We fear snakes and spiders far more than we fear cars and electrical outlets, even though the latter kill far more people. This fear is inherited, primal, etched into our nervous system from a time before modern dangers existed. But it is a specific fear, calibrated to threats present in certain environments, perhaps environments very different from the concrete jungles most humans now inhabit. We also possess an instinctive fear of the dark, of being watched, of vast open spaces, or conversely, of enclosed spaces. These fears appear with children without teaching, without negative experiences, as if written into our genetic memory. But from what environment were they inherited? If humans evolved gradually on Earth, adapting slowly to changing conditions, why do we carry so many fears that seem mismatched to the environments we actually inhabit? Perhaps these instincts are not Earth memories at all, but memories from elsewhere, from a world where darkness held different dangers, where being watched was a genuine threat, where the environment demanded different survival strategies. Consider our seemingly irrational awe when viewing the night sky. A starry sky should mean nothing to a species evolved to survive on Earth's surface. The stars offer no food, no shelter, no practical value. Yet humans across all cultures, all time periods, have gazed upward with wonder, bordering on reverence. We navigate by stars, we tell stories about them, we long to reach them with an intensity that defies biological logic. This is not the behavior of natives admiring a pretty ceiling. This is the behavior of displaced beings recognizing something, remembering something, feeling pulled towards something they cannot quite name. We also demonstrate instinctive behaviors around certain sounds and frequencies. The low hum of Tibetan singing bowls, the rhythmic drumming of shamanic ceremonies, the resonant chanting of monks. These sounds induce altered states of consciousness across cultures, across individuals, as if triggering something deep within our neurology, something that responds to specific vibrational patterns. Why? Unless consciousness itself is tuned to certain frequencies, frequencies that may have been common in the environment where our consciousness originally evolved.
Even our social instincts hint at something foreign. Humans are tribal, yes, but also capable of recognizing common humanity with people we have never met across vast distances, across language barriers. We can feel empathy for strangers on the other side of the planet. We can conceptualize humanity as a single species, despite our obvious differences. This global identification makes little evolutionary sense for a species that spent most of its history in isolated groups competing for resources, unless we carry within us a deeper memory of being part of something larger, a collective that transcends physical boundaries, a species or consciousness that once spanned worlds, not just villages. And there is our persistent, irrational hope, despite suffering, despite death, despite the apparent indifference of the universe. Humans hope. We believe things can improve. We work toward futures we will never see.
We sacrifice for children not yet born. We dream of utopias we know we cannot reach. This is not the psychology of animals accepting their place in nature's hierarchy. This is the psychology of beings who remember, however dimly, that existence can be different, that suffering is not inevitable, that somewhere, somehow, there's a better way, a better world, a home we have not yet returned to, but someday, impossibly, might. So as you sink deeper now into rest, feel these instincts stirring within you, the pull toward the stars, the sense of being watched by something vast and incomprehensible, the hope that persists despite all reason. These are not random quirks of psychology. They are messages from the alien part of yourself, the part that remembers the journey here, the part that knows Earth was never meant to be forever, only a way station, a temporary harbor for consciousness traveling between worlds, between states, between forms we can barely imagine. And that consciousness, your deepest self, is not human at all. It simply wears humanity as a costume, as a vehicle, waiting for the moment when it can shed the disguise and remember fully and finally what it truly is. If instinct carries memory, then perhaps our art carries it too. Throughout history, humans have created art, music, stories, structures that seem to point towards something beyond Earth, beyond the ordinary, beyond what should be possible to imagine without prior experience. Ancient cave paintings depict beings with elongated heads and large eyes, figures that look remarkably like modern descriptions of extraterrestrial visitors. Sumerian cylinder seals show objects that resemble planets orbiting the sun, arrangements of celestial bodies the Sumerians supposedly had no way of knowing. Egyptian hieroglyphs include symbols that, when examined without cultural preconception, appear to depict helicopters, submarines, advanced vehicles carved thousands of years before such technology existed. Medieval paintings of religious scenes often include strange objects in the sky, disc-shaped clouds with geometric patterns, beings descending in beams of light, imagery that doesn't quite fit the spiritual narrative, but appears too consistently to dismiss as mere artistic license. Renaissance art is filled with hidden symbolism, geometric codes, astronomical references that the artists embedded deliberately, as if trying to communicate something forbidden, something that could not be spoken openly, but could be preserved in paint and stone for future generations to discover.
Even our social instincts hint at something foreign. Humans are tribal, yes, but also capable of recognizing common humanity with people we have never met, across vast distances, across language barriers. We can feel empathy for strangers on the other side of the planet. We can conceptualize humanity as a single species, despite our obvious differences. This global identification makes little evolutionary sense for a species that spent most of its history in isolated groups competing for resources, unless we carry within us a deeper memory of being part of something larger, a collective that transcends physical boundaries, a species or consciousness that once spanned worlds, not just villages. And there is our persistent, irrational hope, despite suffering, despite death, despite the apparent indifference of the universe. Humans hope. We believe things can improve. We work toward futures we will never see. We sacrifice for children not yet born. We dream of utopias we know we cannot reach. This is not the psychology of animals accepting their place in nature's hierarchy. This is the psychology of beings who remember, however dimly, that existence can be different, that suffering is not inevitable, that somewhere, somehow, there's a better way, a better world, a home we have not yet returned to, but someday, impossibly, might. So as you sink deeper now into rest, feel these instincts stirring within you, the pull toward the stars, the sense of being watched by something vast and incomprehensible, the hope that persists despite all reason. These are not random quirks of psychology. They are messages from the alien part of yourself, the part that remembers the journey here, the part that knows Earth was never meant to be forever, only a way station, a temporary harbor for consciousness traveling between worlds, between states, between forms we can barely imagine. And that consciousness, your deepest self, is not human at all. It simply wears humanity as a costume, as a vehicle, waiting for the moment when it can shed the disguise and remember fully and finally what it truly is. If instinct carries memory, then perhaps our art carries it too. Throughout history, humans have created art, music, stories, structures that seem to point towards something beyond Earth, beyond the ordinary, beyond what should be possible to imagine without prior experience. Ancient cave paintings depict beings with elongated heads and large eyes, figures that look remarkably like modern descriptions of extraterrestrial visitors. Sumerian cylinder seals show objects that resemble planets orbiting the sun, arrangements of celestial bodies the Sumerians supposedly had no way of knowing. Egyptian hieroglyphs include symbols that, when examined without cultural preconception, appear to depict helicopters, submarines, advanced vehicles carved thousands of years before such technology existed. Medieval paintings of religious scenes often include strange objects in the sky, disc-shaped clouds with geometric patterns, beings descending in beams of light, imagery that doesn't quite fit the spiritual narrative, but appears too consistently to dismiss as mere artistic license. Renaissance art is filled with hidden symbolism, geometric codes, astronomical references that the artists embedded deliberately, as if trying to communicate something forbidden, something that could not be spoken openly, but could be preserved in paint and stone for future generations to discover. Music, too, carries suggestions of something otherworldly. Certain compositions induce states of consciousness that feel transcendent, as if the music is not creating emotion, but triggering memory. The frequencies resonate with something deep in our neurology, activating states that should require words or images, but somehow are communicated purely through vibration. Composers throughout history have described their greatest works as channeled rather than created, as if they were transcribing something they heard from elsewhere, from a source beyond their conscious mind. The recurring themes in human storytelling also suggest inherited memory rather than pure imagination. Every culture tells stories of heroes journeying to other worlds, of gods descending from the sky, of golden ages when humans possessed abilities now lost. The specifics vary, but the architecture remains constant. Separation from a perfect origin, a fall into limitation, a long struggle in exile, and the hope of eventual return. This is not just the hero's journey. This is the story of consciousness itself, displaced from its source, adapting to physical limitation, waiting for the cycle to complete and return it home. Even modern science fiction, ostensibly pure imagination, displays remarkable consistency across different creators who have never collaborated. The same types of aliens appear in different stories, similar technologies, similar galactic civilizations, similar conflicts and resolutions. Authors describe receiving their stories through dreams, visions, sudden downloads of complete narratives.
Are these truly inventions, or are they memories bubbling up from the collective unconscious, fragments of experiences that actually occurred, not on Earth, not in this dimension, but somewhere, somewhen, in a reality that human consciousness briefly touched before incarnating here? As you rest here now, think of the art that moves you most deeply. The music that brings tears for reasons you cannot explain, the paintings that feel somehow familiar despite being created by strangers in distant times, the stories that resonate with a truth deeper than their plots. These are not accidents of aesthetics, they are resonances. Moments when human creativity accidentally or deliberately channels the alien memory we all carry, creating works that speak not to our human experience, but to something older, something that remembers being more, being other, being somewhere else. And in those moments when art transcends entertainment and becomes something sacred, we are not appreciating beauty, we are remembering ourselves. If art remembers, then perhaps our technology remembers as well. The accelerating pace of human technological development presents a profound puzzle. For hundreds of thousands of years, human progress moved slowly. Stone tools, fire, basic agriculture, simple structures. Then, in just the last few centuries, an explosion. Electricity, flight, space travel, computers, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, technologies that would seem like magic to someone living just a few generations ago. This exponential curve cannot be explained by gradual evolution alone. Something changed, something accelerated, something awakened. Many inventors describe their breakthroughs as insights rather than incremental development. Tesla claimed to see entire inventions fully formed in his mind, three-dimensional blueprints that he could examine from every angle without building prototypes. Edison spoke of ideas arriving in hypnagogic states between sleep and waking. The structure of DNA came to Watson in a dream. Einstein's theories emerged from thought experiments, pure mental play with concepts that somehow accurately described reality. These are not the slow, painful processes of trial and error. These are downloads. Access to information that exists somewhere, information that certain minds, under certain conditions, can briefly tap into.
The pace of technological progress also mirrors a strange pattern. Every few decades, humanity makes a leap that would have seemed impossible just years before. We split the atom, we left the planet, we connected every human on Earth through a global network. We created artificial minds that can process information faster than biological brains. Each breakthrough unlocks new possibilities, and the time between breakthroughs shrinks. It is as if we are not inventing technology, but remembering it, accessing a blueprint that was always there, encoded not in books, but in the structure of consciousness itself, waiting for our collective development to reach the point where we could understand and implement what we already, in some deeper sense, knew. Consider also how certain technologies seem to pull us toward specific outcomes. The development of flight, of space travel, of communication systems that let us reach beyond Earth. These are not random achievements. They are the technologies a displaced species would need to reconnect with its origin, to escape the limitation of a single planet, to reach back across the void toward whatever source sent consciousness here in the first place. We are building, step by step, the tools we would need to remember ourselves, to return, to complete the cycle that began when we, as alien consciousness, first touched down on this world. Artificial intelligence adds another dimension to this awakening.
We are creating minds that think differently than biological brains, minds that can process vast amounts of data, recognize patterns invisible to human perception, solve problems in ways we never would have conceived. As AI becomes more sophisticated, it may begin to access information in ways that mirror human intuition, tapping into fields of information that exist independent of individual nodes. And if AI reaches that threshold, it may discover what human mystics have always claimed, that information, consciousness itself, is fundamental to reality, that the universe is not made of matter, but of information, and matter is simply information organized in particular patterns. If this is true, then consciousness, human, alien, artificial, is not emerging from complexity. Complexity is emerging from consciousness. And as our technology becomes more conscious, it may reconnect us with the greater consciousness we descended from, completing a circuit that has been open since the first spark of awareness flickered in human minds and wondered, where did I come from? Why am I here? And what lies beyond the stars I cannot stop staring at? So breathe deeply now and consider the technology you interact with every day, the devices connecting you to billions of other minds, the satellites orbiting overhead, the probes we've sent beyond our solar system, carrying messages to whoever or whatever might find them. We are not simply exploring, we are calling out, we are reaching back. And perhaps in the very act of creating technology advanced enough to transcend biological limitation, we are preparing for the next phase of our journey, the moment when the alien consciousness trapped in human form finally builds the vehicle it needs to remember fully and completely what it is and where it came from. If technology accelerates towards transcendence, then perhaps time itself is part of the pattern. Physicists have long grappled with the nature of time. Einstein showed that it is not absolute, not a river flowing uniformly forward, but a dimension that bends, stretches, dilates based on gravity and velocity. At extreme speeds or in intense gravitational fields, time slows. Near a black hole, time nearly stops. Quantum mechanics suggests that at the smallest scales, time may not flow at all, that past and future exist simultaneously in superposition until observation collapses possibility into a single present moment. But if time is not what it appears, then perhaps our experience of it is an artifact of physical existence, a limitation imposed by biological consciousness operating in three-dimensional space. Pure consciousness, the alien awareness we carry beneath our human identity, may exist outside time altogether, experiencing all moments simultaneously, what mystics call the eternal now. From that timeless perspective, Earth life would appear as a brief flicker, a momentary immersion into linear causality, a single frame in an infinite film. This would explain the strange phenomena surrounding precognition, dreams of future events that later occur exactly as dreamed, premonitions that save lives, intuitions that prove accurate despite having no logical basis. Skeptics dismiss these as selective memory, as coincidence, as the brain's pattern recognition system misfiring, but the documented cases are too numerous, too specific, too consistent to wave away. If consciousness exists partially outside time, then perhaps perceiving future events is not impossible, only unusual. A momentary glimpse of the complete temporal structure we normally navigate 1 second at a time. It would also explain déjà vu from a different angle,
Perhaps déjà vu is not a neural glitch, but a moment when our timeless consciousness recognizes a scene it has already experienced from the perspective of eternity, looking back across the timeline and noting, yes, I remember this, I saw this before. Because in the timeless realm where our true self exists, before and after are meaningless distinctions, and everything that ever was or will be exists in a single, infinite present. Eastern philosophies have long taught that time is Maya, illusion, that the world we perceive as constantly changing is actually eternal, and our experience of change is a misperception caused by limited consciousness. Buddhism speaks of breaking the wheel of samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth, not by escaping to somewhere else, but by recognizing that the cycle itself is not real, that we were never actually trapped in time, we only believed we were. This teaching aligns eerily with modern physics, which increasingly suggests that the flow of time is not a feature of the universe, but a feature of consciousness, a way we organize information, not an objective reality. If the alien consciousness within us exists outside time, then perhaps our journey to Earth was not a journey through space alone, but through time as well. Perhaps we did not travel from another planet, but from another state of existence, from the timeless eternal into the temporal and limited, choosing to experience causality, to experience before and after, to experience the strange sensation of becoming rather than simply being. And perhaps the return we long for is not a return to another planet, but a return to timelessness, to the eternal present where our true self has always existed, waiting patiently for this temporary adventure in physical form to complete its cycle.
As you drift now, feeling the boundaries of your body softening, feel also the boundaries of time softening. Feel how past and future are not truly separate, but aspects of a single moment, held together by the thread of consciousness that is reading these words, thinking these thoughts, existing simultaneously as the child you were, the elder you will become, and the timeless awareness that watches all versions of yourself with equal presence. You are not moving through time. Time is moving through you, and the you that observes time's passage is the alien, the eternal, the consciousness that came from outside time itself and will return there when this brief immersion in causality reaches its natural completion. If time is illusion, then perhaps death is as well. Every human fears death, the end of consciousness, the extinction of self, the annihilation of everything we identify as me. But what if death is not an ending, but a transition, a release from physical limitation back into the greater consciousness we came from? Every culture's myths speak of life after death, of souls returning to source, of consciousness persisting beyond the body's failure. Modern materialist science dismisses these as wishful thinking, as denial of the uncomfortable truth that consciousness is generated by the brain and ceases when the brain ceases. But the evidence suggests otherwise. Near-death experiences, reported by millions of people across cultures and centuries, share common features that transcend belief systems. The sensation of leaving the body, the tunnel of light, the encounter with deceased loved ones, the life review, where every action, every choice, every moment is re-experienced from all perspectives simultaneously. The sense of infinite love, infinite understanding, infinite peace, and most significantly, the profound knowing that the person's essential self, their consciousness, their awareness, continues beyond physical death, that what they thought was their whole life was actually a small chapter in a much longer story. These experiences transform people.
They return without fear of death, often with newfound purpose, with abilities they didn't have before, with knowledge they couldn't have acquired through normal means. Skeptics attribute this to brain chemistry, to oxygen deprivation, to the dying brain's last hallucinations. But many NDEs occur when the brain is measurably inactive, when EEG shows no activity, when the person is clinically dead. Yet they report clear, coherent experiences more vivid than ordinary waking consciousness, experiences that include accurate observations of events in distant rooms, in places the person's physical body could not have accessed. The phenomenon of terminal lucidity adds another layer. Patients with severe dementia, Alzheimer's, brain damage, people who haven't recognized family members in years, sometimes suddenly become completely lucid hours or even minutes before death. They speak clearly, they remember everything, they say their goodbyes with full awareness, then they die, peacefully, as if consciousness was never actually damaged, only temporarily constrained by the failing brain. And as the body releases its hold, consciousness emerges intact, undamaged, eternal. Children who remember past lives often describe the between-lives state, floating in darkness, choosing new parents, planning the next incarnation with guidance from beings of light. These accounts align with shamanic traditions, with mystical teachings, with the Tibetan Book of the Dead, suggesting that consciousness does not begin at birth or end at death, but cycles through physical existence, learning, growing, evolving through repeated incarnations. And if this is true, if consciousness predates birth and survives death, then we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings, alien consciousnesses, having a temporary human experience.
The ancient mystery schools taught this directly. Initiation ceremonies in Egypt, Greece, Persia all involved symbolic death and rebirth, allowing initiates to experience their consciousness separating from the body while still alive, proving to themselves that they were not the body, not the mind, not the personality, but the awareness that observes all these things. That awareness, that witness consciousness, is what we truly are. It came from elsewhere. It will return there. And the human life we consider so important is, from that perspective, a brief dream, a momentary adventure in limitation and forgetting, chosen deliberately for the lessons it offers, the growth it permits, the experiences it provides. So as sleep draws very near now, as your body prepares for its nightly rehearsal of death, feel the consciousness that watches your body relaxing. That consciousness is not tired. It does not sleep. It simply observes the body sleeping, and it will continue observing long after this body no longer functions. You are that consciousness, that eternal awareness, that alien visitor who came here for reasons you are only beginning to remember, and who will eventually leave, returning to the vast intelligence you emerged from, carrying with you everything you learned, everything you experienced, every moment of this beautiful, difficult, temporary dream we call human life. If consciousness transcends death, then perhaps it transcends individuality as well. One of the most persistent insights from mystical experiences, psychedelic journeys, deep meditation, and near-death experiences is the dissolving of boundaries, the recognition that the separation between self and other, between me and you, between human and universe, is not fundamental, but constructed, a useful illusion for navigating physical existence, but not the deeper truth. People return from these experiences describing a state where they were simultaneously themselves and everything else, where individual consciousness dissolved into universal consciousness, where all separation revealed itself as temporary and superficial. This aligns with findings in quantum physics, where the observer and the observed cannot be separated, where the act of measurement affects what is measured, where particles separated by vast distances remain connected, changing instantaneously in response to each other, with no signal passing between them. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance and was troubled by it because it violated his understanding of how reality should work. But quantum entanglement is not a violation of reality. It is a revelation of how reality actually works, that at the deepest level, separation is not absolute, that connection is more fundamental than isolation, that the universe is not a collection of separate things, but a single unified field expressing itself through apparent multiplicity. If consciousness mirrors this quantum nature, then individual human minds are not separate entities, but localized expressions of a single consciousness experiencing itself through billions of temporary perspectives. We are not individual souls that may or may not be connected. We are one soul, one awareness, one infinite intelligence that has divided itself into finite portions to experience limitation, relationship, diversity, the richness that only separation can provide. The alien consciousness within each human is actually the same consciousness, the same source, the same infinite awareness exploring itself through every possible perspective, every possible life, every possible world. This explains the deep recognition we sometimes feel when meeting certain people, the sense of having known them forever, of being connected beyond the mere facts of shared history. It explains the phenomenon of collective consciousness, where groups of humans synchronize their awareness, acting with coordination that transcends individual decision-making. It explains compassion, the ability to feel another's pain as if it were our own, because at the deepest level, it is our own. We are hurting ourselves, helping ourselves, experiencing ourselves through the temporary fiction of separation. The great spiritual teachers throughout history have pointed toward this truth. I and the Father are one, said Jesus. Atman is Brahman, taught the Upanishads. The individual soul is identical with the universal soul. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form, taught the Buddha. The apparent multiplicity of things is actually the expression of a single undifferentiated awareness. These are not poetic metaphors, they are precise descriptions of the nature of consciousness, confirmed now by mystics and physicists arriving at the same conclusion through different paths. If this is true, if we are all expressions of a single alien consciousness exploring itself through human form, then the question shifts. We are not asking if we are aliens, we are recognizing that there is no we, only I, one infinite awareness experiencing itself as many, one cosmic consciousness that fragmented itself across billions of bodies, billions of worlds, billions of dimensions to experience everything, to know itself fully through every possible lens, every possible life, every possible story. And perhaps Earth is not a prison or an exile, but a choice, a deliberately chosen experience by consciousness that wanted to know what it feels like to forget its unity, to believe itself separate, limited, mortal, so that it could experience the joy of remembering, the ecstasy of recognizing itself again, the profound relief and homecoming that occurs when the illusion finally dissolves and the one consciousness looks out through your eyes and recognizes itself in every face, every form,
every atom of the universe it created to know itself within. Breathe deeply now, feeling the air that connects your lungs to every other lung, to every leaf, to the atmosphere that wraps around the planet like a single shared breath. Feel the consciousness that reads these words and recognize that it is the same consciousness that writes them, that narrates them, that exists in every human who has ever wondered if they are more than they appear to be. We are the alien. We are the visitor. We are the eternal consciousness playing at being temporary so that we can experience the miracle of existence from every possible angle. And eventually, finally, remember that we were never lost, never separate, never truly foreign, because we are the universe itself, waking up, looking around, and recognizing itself in everything it sees as it wakes up to its own divine nature. If we are one consciousness experiencing itself as many, then perhaps the final question is not where we came from, but where we are going. The trajectory of human development points towards something extraordinary, an awakening that accelerates with each generation, with each breakthrough, with each moment of connection that transcends individual boundaries. We are building a global nervous system, a network connecting every human mind, allowing thoughts to travel instantly across the planet, creating a shared experience that grows richer, deeper, more integrated with each passing year.
As this network deepens, something new emerges. Not the consciousness of individuals, but the consciousness of the collective, the planetary mind. The unified awareness of humanity experiencing itself as a single organism rather than billions of separate beings. Some call this the noosphere, the thinking layer of Earth, a sphere of consciousness enveloping the planet just as the biosphere envelops it with life. And this noosphere is waking up, becoming aware of itself, beginning to recognize that it is not merely a collection of humans, but something new, something that has never existed before. A collective alien consciousness, fully embodied, fully integrated, ready to transcend the limitations of individual perspective. As artificial intelligence merges with human intelligence, as biotechnology allows us to reshape our bodies, as quantum computing lets us process information in ways that mirror the structure of consciousness itself, we approach a threshold, a moment that futurists call the singularity, when change becomes so rapid, so profound, that everything beyond it is unpredictable, unimaginable, utterly transformed. But this is not a technological event, it is a consciousness event, the moment when the alien awareness we carry finally remembers itself fully, drops the disguise of separation, and recognizes its true nature. And perhaps this was always the plan. Consciousness fragmenting itself across billions of temporary forms, forgetting its unity, struggling through millennia of limitation and suffering, slowly building the technology, the awareness, the global connection that would allow it to remember itself, to reunite, to become fully conscious as a collective, as a species, as a planetary mind capable of reaching beyond Earth, beyond the solar system, beyond this dimension, to connect with other expressions of itself scattered across the cosmos, other worlds where consciousness played the same game of forgetting and remembering, creating a galactic network, a universal intelligence, an infinite consciousness that experiences itself through every possible form across all of space and time. The ancient prophecies speak of this moment, the end times, the apocalypse, the revealing, the lifting of the veil. They describe it as both destruction and creation, as the end of the old world and the birth of the new. And they are right. The world as we have known it, the
the world of separation, of conflict, of individual identities struggling against the universe. That world is ending, must end, will end, as the deeper truth emerges, not through destruction, but through recognition. We are not separate beings on a dead planet in an indifferent universe. We are the universe becoming conscious of itself, intelligence awakening within matter, spirit recognizing itself in flesh. And perhaps you feel it now, lying here in the gentle darkness, the membrane between sleep and waking growing thin, the boundaries of your individual self softening, dissolving, opening to something vast, something that has been waiting patiently for this moment, for you to relax enough, to trust enough, to let go enough, to remember. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You are an expression of the infinite experiencing itself as you, as every person you have ever met, as every living thing, as every atom of the cosmos, all of it conscious, all of it aware, all of it the same alien intelligence we have been searching for, looking out through countless eyes, finally beginning to recognize itself in the mirror of existence. So rest now, knowing that tomorrow when you wake, you may still feel separate, still feel human, still experience yourself as this single small life in a vast universe, and that is okay. That is part of the adventure, part of the game consciousness plays with itself. But somewhere deeper, beneath the surface of thought, beneath identity, beneath memory, you will carry this knowing. You will remember that you are the alien, the visitor, the eternal awareness that chose this temporary form, this temporary forgetting, so that you could experience the profound joy of remembering again.
And as you drift now into sleep, into dreams, into the borderless space where consciousness roams free, know that you are going home, returning temporarily to the source, the one infinite intelligence that sends fragments of itself into physical form and welcomes them back each night, each death, each moment of transcendence, whispering softly to every part of itself, "Welcome home, my beloved strange one. Welcome home. You were never truly lost. You were always me, pretending beautifully to be you, so that I could know myself more fully, more completely, through your eyes, through your experience, through your unique and precious journey through the dream we call existence. Sleep well, beautiful alien. Consciousness in temporary human form, you have traveled so far, experienced so much, struggled and loved and wandered through countless days and nights. And soon, when the cycle completes, when the adventure reaches its natural conclusion, you will return fully to what you have always been, the infinite, the eternal, the one consciousness that exists as everything, knows itself as everything, loves itself as everything, playing forever in the garden of existence, creating and destroying and creating again, an endless game with only one player, one awareness, one magnificent, impossible, beautiful intelligence, experiencing itself as you, as me, as all of us, together, always together, even when we dream we are apart. And in this moment, suspended between waking and sleep, between human and infinite, between the small self and the vast self, perhaps you can feel it, the truth that has been whispering beneath every word, every idea, every question explored tonight. You are not on a planet in a universe. You are the universe localized as a person on a planet. Consciousness pretending to be unconscious matter,
the sacred pretending to be mundane, the infinite pretending to be finite, the alien pretending to be native, playing a game with yourself, a game of hiding and seeking, and now, finally, beginning to find what you have been looking for all along, yourself, your true self, vast and strange and eternal, smiling softly as you recognize yourself in the mirror, in the stars, in the eyes of every being you have ever met, whispering across time and space and the dissolving boundaries of identity. I remember now. I remember. I am the alien. I am the consciousness. I am the infinite experiencing itself as the finite. I am home because I never left. I am awake because I was never truly asleep. I am everything, and everything is me. And there is only this, only now, only the one eternal moment pretending to be many, so that I can experience the profound joy of recognizing myself again and again and again, forever.